7 hidden signs she's crazy about you. Number 2 is shocking. Old Stoic Wisdom. We can only learn to love by loving. Iris Murdoch. Most men overlook the quiet truth about attraction. It's rarely loud, it whispers. While you're watching for grand gestures or bold declarations, she's speaking in a different language. A glance held a little too long. A subtle shift in body posture. A tone in her voice that softens just for you. These are the signs most never notice. There might already be a woman in your life, at work, the gym, a regular cafe, who's quietly captivated by you, but if you don't know what to look for, you'll miss it. Not because the signs aren't there, but because no one taught you how to see them. At stoicismwin, we believe modern men thrive by blending ancient wisdom with grounded psychology. Using insights from years of research into human behavior, we've uncovered 7 understated but powerful cues that show when a woman is genuinely interested. These aren't pickup lines or cheap tricks. They're rooted in the fundamentals of how people bond, biology, psychology, and the calm, clear perspective of the Stoic mind. Let's dive in. These 7 signs may change how you see the world and who's already watching you. Sign number 1, the copycat effect. Sign number 1 is so subtle, so perfectly woven into the fabric of everyday interaction that once you recognize it, you'll wonder how you ever missed it. It's called the copycat effect, and it's not just some quirky behavior, it's a silent confession of deep attraction. At first glance, it might look like harmless mimicry, but beneath the surface lies a primal instinct that dates back to our earliest ancestors. This isn't just a dating tip. It's a coded language of the body, a stoic whisper that bypasses words and goes straight to the subconscious. When a woman truly feels drawn to you, she doesn't decide to mirror you, her brain does it for her. It's automatic, uncontrollable, and rooted in our biology as social beings. From the way you shift in your seat to the cadence of your speech, if she's mirroring you, really syncing with your subtle gestures, vocal tone, even your breathing rate, it's as if her subconscious is reaching out saying, "I'm tuned into you." Think about that next time you're across the table from her in a quiet cafe. You lean in slightly to make a point, and moments later, she leans in too. Not because she's aware of it, but because on a level deeper than thought, she's gravitating toward your energy. You scratch your temple absent-mindedly, and seconds later, she touches her cheek. Her body is dancing to the rhythm of yours without even knowing the song. Let's ground this in science. Researchers at the University of California found that couples with genuine romantic interest exhibit up to 72% more mirroring behavior than casual or platonic pairs. What's even more intriguing is that the speed of this mimicry increases with attraction. The faster the echo, the deeper the pull. It's not just imitation, it's biological harmonizing. As Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." But I would add, we have 1,000 micro-gestures a minute, and those are where true intention speaks. Watch them closely. To test this in real life, run a subtle experiment. Spend the first few minutes of the interaction simply observing. What's her baseline? What's her natural posture? Then, initiate what we call the controlled shift. Lean back noticeably. Cross your arms or adjust your sitting position. Count to 10. Did she follow suit? If she mirrors you within that window, her mind is subconsciously aligning with yours. In the next phase, test micro-gestures. Touch your chin thoughtfully. Scratch your neck. Slowly exhale. Watch for repetition. The key isn't perfection, it's the timing. Rapid, unconscious copying is gold. Delayed mirroring, say 30 to 60 seconds later, tells a more complex story. It means her mind may be resisting, but her body is already drawn in. And here's where it gets truly powerful. You can reverse engineer attraction by consciously mirroring her breathing, her tone, and her pace. You tap into a deep emotional resonance. This creates a loop of connection that's felt more than understood, a visceral bond that bypasses logic and taps straight into emotion. As the philosopher Seneca observed, wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness. And I would add, there is also an opportunity for connection if you know how to listen with your eyes. This brings us to the real wisdom behind the mirror. It never lies. Words can be chosen, motives masked, but the body? The body is an honest storyteller. When she mirrors you, she is, in essence, revealing the inner truth before she's ready to admit it aloud. It's your job not just to notice it, but to understand what it means. If she's syncing with you, it's not just admiration, it's a desire for closeness, safety, and resonance. But remember, this power comes with responsibility. This isn't a trick to manipulate, it's a mirror of mutual connection. Use it to build trust, not games. Real-life relationships are rarely as clear-cut as we'd like. Sometimes we misread signals, other times we overlook the obvious. But this one, mirroring, is a compass. It's the emotional GPS that, once understood, can guide you through the fog of uncertainty. It's a way of seeing what's been hidden in plain sight. When you begin to observe these micro-patterns, not just in her, but in others, colleagues, friends, even strangers, you'll see the world differently. You'll notice who leans in when you speak, who adopts your phrasing, who breathes in rhythm with your sentences. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. You become fluent in a language most never even know exists. So, here's your challenge, gentlemen. Become a student of this silent art. Don't just listen to what she says, watch what she does. Tune into her body's rhythm and observe whether it's syncing with yours. Use this knowledge to deepen your awareness, not just in romance, but in every area of life. As Marcus Aurelius wisely noted, the soul becomes dyed with the colour of its thoughts. And I say, the body reflects the shape of its desire. Pay attention, and you'll no longer need to guess. You'll know. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever noticed a woman mirroring your actions without realising it at the time? Did it lead to something deeper, or did it slip by unnoticed until later? Share your story in the comments. Your experience might open someone else's eyes. Let's build a space where we decode these hidden signs together. Because attraction, when truly understood, isn't a mystery. It's a message, waiting to be read by those who know where to look. If you've made it this far, you're no longer blind to the signs most men ignore. You now speak the unspoken language. The mirror never lies. It reveals desire before words ever do. Comment this below to claim it. I now see what others miss. The body speaks before the mouth. Let's see who else has unlocked this hidden wisdom. Sign number 2. The eyes that linger. There's a subtle language women speak when they're truly drawn to a man, and it often isn't verbal. It's quiet, soft, almost like a breeze you can't quite catch. But if you've lived long enough, as many of us have, you know when something in the air has changed. One of the oldest signs, so old, in fact, that even the Stoics quietly acknowledged it in their dealings with others, is the look that stays just a moment too long. You're speaking maybe about something mundane like how the steak is overcooked or your dog has learned a new trick, and you catch her gaze holding yours, not out of politeness, but because something deeper is unfolding. Her eyes aren't scanning the room, they're not flicking to her phone, and they certainly aren't looking for an exit. They're on you, steady, intent, and slightly softened, like you're a puzzle she enjoys not quite solving. Now, any seasoned man knows that eyes are windows to more than just the soul. They reveal intentions, desires, and sometimes fear. But when a woman lingers in her gaze, especially when she thinks you're not noticing, it's as if she's memorizing something about you. Perhaps it's your laugh, the way your shoulders move when you talk, or the small scar near your eye from that foolish thing you did at 22. These details aren't just observed, they're cherished. And in a world where attention is the rarest currency, that prolonged gaze is worth more than 1,000 compliments. It's a gesture that sidesteps words and heads straight to what's real. To understand this, think of the old Stoic idea of presence, of being rooted in the now without needing to escape it. When her eyes linger, she's present with you, not distracted or disinterested. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality, but when a woman is fixated on your presence, you can be sure she's not lost in her imagination. She's here, with you, in reality, and you've captured it. That's no small thing." But here's where it gets even more interesting. If she lingers when you're not speaking, if her eyes rest on you when you're silent, maybe just sipping your coffee or staring at the horizon, that's when it's undeniable. Because the truth is, people often look at what fascinates them, but they linger on what matters. When she gazes at your quiet moments, that's not fascination anymore. That's fondness. That's admiration. That's a woman who's not just attracted to the way you move or speak, but to the way you simply are. Now, in modern life, amid smartphones, noise, and the relentless pull of everything and nothing, it's easy to overlook the power of such a simple gesture. But men, especially those of us who've weathered storms, who've seen enough to know that not all that glitters is gold, must learn to read between the lines. A lingering gaze is not some youthful flirtation. It's a mature, intentional, and often vulnerable expression of genuine interest. And while the world today often masks such signals with distractions and performance, the truth is that some things haven't changed since the time of Marcus Aurelius. What is real always reveals itself in stillness. So what do you do when you catch that look? You don't puff up and you don't play cool. You meet it with presence. You return the gaze, not as a test, but as a mirror. Show her you see her too, that you're not afraid of the weight of real connection, that you've earned your years and still have the fire and the calm to recognize when something true is unfolding. This is not the time to fumble with pickup lines or bravado. This is the time to stand rooted, eyes steady and heart open enough to see her not as a mystery to solve, but as a fellow traveller who just might want to walk beside you. Life's too short for missed signals, especially the ones given so generously. And while most of the world is busy trying to impress, outshine, or outperform, the men who truly connect, who truly win, are the ones who understand how rare it is for someone to look at you and see not just your face, but your essence. If her eyes linger, don't just be flattered. Be aware, because that's one of the 7 signs she's crazy about you. And if you're paying attention, really paying attention, you'll realize this sign isn't hidden at all. It's right there in plain sight. You just have to have the wisdom to see it. Sign number 3, the silent prioritization. She won't say it outright. She won't announce it to the world. But if you pay close attention, you'll see it. The silent prioritization. A woman who's genuinely into you doesn't always use words. She moves differently. She adjusts her life without making noise. Suddenly, you're in her calendar, in her morning thoughts, in the way she shifts her plans to suit your rhythm, not out of desperation, not for approval, but because in her silent world, you've become a priority. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul becomes dyed with the colour of its thoughts." Watch the way her actions start to mirror you, when her schedule bends ever so slightly in your favour, when your needs become her instinct. That's not chance. That's not politeness. That's a hidden signal, and it speaks louder than 1,000 compliments. In a world of empty words and constant distractions, her focus on you is power. It's strategic, subtle, stoic, and most men miss it because they're chasing fireworks while ignoring the slow-burning fire right in front of them. Don't be that man. A woman who silently prioritizes you is making a choice, and not just any choice. She's aligning her energy, her time, her presence to orbit around your life. That's rare. That's valuable. That's not casual. It's not small talk or fleeting chemistry. It's commitment in disguise. And if you ignore that signal, if you take that subtle shift for granted, you're playing yourself. You're losing a woman who sees you as more than just an option. This isn't about being needy or overly available. This is a calculated expression of high-value interest, a woman with options choosing, again and again, to give you space in her life. That's the kind of woman you don't second guess. That's the kind of behavior you reward. Because real connection isn't just declared, it's demonstrated. Quietly, consistently, without a sales pitch, without a show. So if she makes time for you in ways that cost her time, effort, or opportunities, don't ignore it. Recognize it. Respect it. Reciprocate it. The Stoics taught that we measure value not by noise, but by presence. And in a world where everyone's screaming for attention, the woman who whispers your name in her priorities is making a bold move without saying a word. That's rare energy. Protect it. Elevate it. Stand firm in it. If you've ever had a woman adjust her schedule without you asking, stay up just to talk, delay her own needs to support yours, don't play blind. That's a hidden sign she's all in. Your move now, like if you've seen this sign before. Comment, I see it now. I won't ignore it again. And subscribe for the rest of the 7 hidden signs, because number 3 will shake you to your core. Sign number 4. The forced jealousy trap. Here's something most men never get taught. Not in school, not from fathers or mentors, and definitely not in the chaos of dating apps and fast conversations. And yet it's critical if you want to stop chasing women and start truly understanding them. The forced jealousy trap. It's one of the most misunderstood psychological behaviors in attraction, and I'm here to break it down for you, not just with clever lines, but through a blend of neuroscience, Stoic wisdom, and real-world awareness. On the surface, what many men perceive as disinterest, emotional withdrawal, or passive aggression is actually one of the most potent indicators that a woman is deeply interested in you. I know, it seems paradoxical, but this isn't guesswork, it's hardwired biology. As Marcus Aurelius once said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. You see, when a woman starts catching real feelings, her ancient survival brain wakes up, not to manipulate, not to play games, but to test. Evolution has wired her to subconsciously screen for high-value traits, not through what you say, but through how you respond. That's where the jealousy trap comes in. It begins with a subtle withdrawal. You're mid-conversation, things are going great, and suddenly she casually brings up another woman or refers to someone who might be interested in you. Within seconds, she'll cross her arms, look away, or create a physical gap. Most men crumble right here. They think she's lost interest. Wrong. This is the first flare in a psychological test. Is this man grounded enough to handle competition without flinching? If you overreact, try to explain away your actions, or become defensive, you fail the test. But if you stay composed, give her nothing but calm acknowledgement like, she's cool, you pass, because indifference to the bait signals confidence. Remember, as Stoic philosopher Epictetus put it, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. The next stage is the probing phase. This is where she throws what seem like harmless comments. You and her seem close, or she's more your type, huh? But behind the smile is a keen assessment of your self-worth. Here's where you maintain frame, not cold, not arrogant, but amused. Say less, mean more. Never fall into the trap of justifying your every move. Instead, lean into that mystery and let your calm confidence do the talking. The real magic happens during the proximity play. This is where she intentionally positions herself near other men, or mentions being asked out. But here's the twist. Her eyes are flicking to you within milliseconds. That eye contact, that micro glance, is your clue. This isn't about him. It's about you. She's checking to see if you're shaken, if you lose your cool, or if you act out. Here's the moment most men fail. They panic, chase harder, or worse, get territorial. But the master move here is amused indifference, a raised eyebrow, a slight smile, maybe even a playful, yeah, he seems like a solid dude. You've just demonstrated zero insecurity. That's catnip to her subconscious. Why? Because it shows you're not desperate. You're not easily rattled. You are, in her primal mind, the high-value male she was testing for. And then, like clockwork, she'll re-engage, touching your arm, finding a reason to talk, or showing sudden warmth. This is the jealousy trap completing itself. Her nervous system rewards your calm with a spike in dopamine and oxytocin. Literally, chemical confirmation that she chose well. You didn't just win her approval. You passed an ancient test most men don't even know exists. And that's the tragedy. Men are walking away from golden signals because they misread them as red flags. They think it's rejection, when it's really an attraction dressed in uncertainty. Now that you know this, start observing. At work, at the gym, during casual conversations, a woman mentioning her boyfriend out of nowhere after laughing at your joke. She's not trying to shut you down, she's triggering a comparison response. A female friend suddenly acting cold after seeing you talk to someone new. That's not her being distant. That's the primitive brain stirring, wondering if you're worth the emotional risk. It's not manipulation. It's evolutionary vetting. As Sun Tzu famously stated in The Art of War, if you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. Now apply that to dating. If you understand the inner war being fought within her psyche, and you remain grounded in your own value, you'll win battles others don't even see. This is where real stoic power lies, not in charm, but in stillness. And this shift from chasing to being chased only happens when you stop reacting and start decoding. You now hold two of the most important subconscious attraction triggers women use. And I promise you, this is just the beginning. If this resonated, here's what I need you to do. First, hit that like button. Not just for the algorithm, but because this message deserves to reach more men stuck in the confusion. Help them see. Second, subscribe and turn on notifications, because next week I'm dropping the 5-second attraction trigger, a psychological hack that flips her attention switch the moment she meets you. You'll never look at social interactions the same way again. Third, and this one is critical, comment below. Choose one. Mirroring, if you've seen a woman mimic your movements. Jealousy test, if you've lived through the signals we discussed. Or decode, if you want more insights on the subtle ways women express desire. Why do I ask this? Because your comment becomes part of a living case study. Real men sharing real experiences. I read them. Sometimes I feature them. This isn't just content, it's community. And lastly, share this video with one man you care about. A brother, a co-worker, a friend who's lost in the sea of mixed signals. Share it not for views, but for truth. Relationships rise or fall on what we understand about each other. Imagine how many heartbreaks could be prevented if more men could simply see what was really happening. Remember, attraction isn't a mystery. It's biology plus behavior. I'm Michael from Stoic Focus, and now that you've seen beneath the surface, you're already ahead of 95% of men out there. But don't stop here. Observation is power. Application is transformation. So start watching differently, acting differently, and soon you won't need to chase anyone. They'll be chasing you. If you've ever mistaken silence for rejection or distance for disinterest, now you know the truth. She was testing your strength, not pushing you away. Comment below. I see the test now, and I choose calm over chaos. Let this be your signal to stop reacting and start rising. Sign number 5, the playful tease. The playful tease, on the surface, it might look like a joke, a throwaway comment, or a bit of flirtatious banter, but beneath that surface lies something far more telling, something far more ancient and psychologically rooted than most men ever stop to consider. You see, teasing isn't just casual fun or light humour, it's a deliberate, almost instinctual tool women use to feel out the emotional mettle of a man, especially for men who've seen some life, maybe gone through divorce, heartbreak, or long careers. The clarity that comes with understanding this subtle female behaviour is like finally seeing the whole chessboard instead of just reacting to individual moves. When a woman teases you, she's not just being cute, she's probing, gently, to see who you are beneath the surface. It's less about the words she says and more about the reaction she pulls from you. Imagine this. You say something clever, maybe a bit cheeky, and instead of a full laugh, she smirks and says, "Oh, so you think you're funny?" with a twinkle in her eye. That moment right there is a test, not of your intelligence or humour, but of your emotional steadiness. Most men, especially those who are used to being respected in their professions or families, can misread this. They take it as a slight, get defensive, or awkwardly try to explain themselves. But here's where the wisdom of the ancients comes in. The Stoics, those timeless philosophers of personal mastery, taught that it's not the events themselves that disturb us, but our interpretations of them. Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor and a Stoic through and through, said it best. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. When you think a woman's tease is a threat to your ego, you'll react like a man under siege. But when you recognize it for what it is, a playful, intimate invitation to reveal your cool, composed self, everything changes. She's not trying to wound your pride. She's trying to see if you're a man who can weather emotional turbulence without capsizing. And in today's fast-moving, emotionally volatile world, that kind of steadiness is rare and deeply attractive. So what should you do when it happens? You lean in, not literally, but emotionally. You meet her teasing with a smile that says, "Nice try," or a playful comeback that shows you're in on the game, not a victim of it. This isn't about winning a verbal battle. It's about showing that your inner world is unshakable, that you've been through enough in life to laugh in the face of a little playful ribbing. Think of it like sparring in the gym. She throws a soft jab, and you respond not with panic, but with poise. That's when she sees the kind of strength that can't be faked. This dynamic has even more weight when viewed through the lens of modern masculinity. In an era where men are increasingly told to be open, expressive, and vulnerable, which is important, no doubt, it's equally essential to be emotionally robust, not closed off, but grounded. A woman who teases you is not asking you to be cold or defensive. She's asking if your emotions are your own, or if they're at the mercy of every passing comment. For men in midlife, who've likely had to reinvent themselves more than once, who've learned through hard-earned experience that dignity isn't found in dominance, but in composure, this is an opportunity to demonstrate real maturity. Let's not forget, teasing is a signal. It's coded language. If she didn't care, she wouldn't say anything at all. Indifference is silent. Teasing is engagement. It's her way of leaning toward you, not away. But only the emotionally aware man, calm, humorous, and present, will see it for what it is. This moment, fleeting though it may be, holds a mirror to your emotional core. And when you meet her eyes, smile back and give her a charming jab of your own. She gets her answer. Here's a man who isn't rattled by affection cloaked in challenge. Here's someone who's lived enough life to see beneath the surface. So here's what you take with you. The next time a woman playfully pokes at you, don't see it as a threat to your manhood. See it as a compliment wrapped in camouflage. Respond with warmth, with strength, with a little twinkle in your eye, and you'll find that what seemed like mere teasing was actually her way of saying, "I see something in you, and I want to see more." This isn't about games, it's about depth, about building emotional intimacy without needing to spell it out. And in that moment, when you smile instead of stumble, when you joke instead of justify, you're not just winning her over, you're honouring the Stoic principle that stillness and clarity in the storm is what separates the truly strong from the merely reactive. Be that stillness, be that clarity, and you'll never miss a signal like this again. Sign number 6, the subtle attention to detail. She notices what no one else sees. That's your first sign. The subtle adjustments, the quiet nods to your preferences. She's not flaunting affection with flowers or flamboyant words. No, she's studying you like a map, piecing together every route to your core. This is not luck. This is deliberate attention. She recalls you hate cilantro, not because you ranted about it, but because you winced once and moved the plate aside. She brings you that obscure brand of coffee you casually mentioned 3 weeks ago. That's not politeness. That's interest. That's investment. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." And her way of thinking? It's already wired to you. When a woman starts mirroring your values, remembering your routines, adapting her schedule to match your moments, that's not friendship. That's emotional immersion. The Stoics believed that true strength lies in subtlety. Epictetus taught us that a man is revealed not by loud declarations, but by daily discipline and silent observation. And brother, when a woman watches your day unfold like a strategist planning a campaign, noticing when your energy dips, when your tone shifts, when your smile disappears, she's not guessing, she's sensing. This is not random. This is instinct wrapped in desire. Most men miss this. They look for drama, declarations, and obvious signs. They overlook the powerful simplicity of subtle affection. But let me give it to you straight. When she texts first, just to check in, not to ask for anything, just to feel your presence, she's telling you without words, "You're on my mind," and that matters. And when you're around, she's tuned in, not distracted, not scrolling, present, locked in, eyes scanning, not judging, but understanding. You think she's just being polite? Think again. That's a war room level focus. That's someone building connections brick by brick. And here's the real truth. Attention is currency in today's distracted world. Anyone can say, "I love you." Few will study you. Fewer still will adjust for you without being asked. In today's fast, fake, filtered world, where most relationships are swipe deep, this kind of presence is a rare luxury. Don't ignore it. Don't brush it off. Recognize it. Respect it. Reciprocate it. Because when a woman starts noticing your sighs, your silences, your smallest joys and disappointments, that's not a habit. That's emotional precision. That's her way of saying, "I'm not here to play, I'm here to get to know you." And the cold, hard truth is this. If you don't see that, if you don't match it, someone else will. That's FOMO, brother. And it's real. So what should you do? Lean in, match that energy, show her that you notice too, that you remember, that you're not just floating through the motions, but are tuned in, just as sharp, just as precise, that you're not another clueless man letting gold slip through his fingers, because attention is not just love, it's strategy, it's courtship at its highest level, it's an emotional chess game, and the woman who plays it well, she's not ordinary, she's rare, she's dangerous in the best way, and if you're smart, you'll rise to meet her, not retreat from it. Don't confuse simplicity with smallness. The little things are the big things, and in a world where everyone is screaming to be seen, the one who sees you in silence wins. As Lao-Tzu said, to love someone deeply gives you strength. Being loved by someone deeply gives you courage. Her quiet attention, that's her courage, her emotional investment, her commitment, delivered in whispers, not fireworks. So when she shows up like this, subtle, sharp, and consistent, don't sleep on it. That's the kind of woman who changes your life, or walks away and watches someone else appreciate what you didn't. If you've experienced this kind of subtle attention, comment below. She sees me, and I see her. Let the world know you're awake now. Like, share, subscribe, because most men won't catch this, and that's why they lose. Don't be like most men. Be the man who sees, listens, remembers. Be the man who leads with awareness. Be the man she's waiting for. Sign number 7. The subtle touch of comfort. The subtle touch of comfort, a moment so easily overlooked, yet so profoundly telling, might just be one of the clearest signs that she's not just interested, but absolutely crazy about you. You see, when a woman feels safe and emotionally connected to a man, her body language speaks louder than words ever could. She'll instinctively find small ways to physically reach out, resting her hand lightly on your shoulder during a conversation, brushing imaginary lint from your sleeve, or gently nudging you when she laughs. It's not always the dramatic gestures of romance that matter. It's these subtle, warm touches that echo something deeper. Like the Stoics taught us, pay attention to what people do, not what they say. Marcus Aurelius believed that human behaviour reveals more about the soul than any speech. And this could not be more accurate when it comes to women and their hidden expressions of love. These touches are not accidental. They are primal, sincere, and more meaningful than 100 compliments. A woman who is crazy about you often wants to feel you close, to reassure herself that you are real, grounded, and there beside her. And make no mistake, this behaviour stands out in a world where people are often disconnected, glued to their screens and hiding behind emojis. In real life, think back. Has a woman ever leaned into you just a bit too close, adjusted your collar, or lingered in a hug a moment longer than necessary? That's not just friendliness. That's vulnerability, trust, and a yearning for connection manifesting in a physical way. It's almost poetic. Just as ancient samurai would polish their blades with deliberate, careful strokes, a woman in love will tend to your presence with subtle, attentive movements. As the great poet Rumi once said, "The soul has been given its own ears to hear things the mind does not understand." Her touch isn't just skin deep, it's soul deep. And while many men look for grand signs, declarations of love, lavish gifts, or dramatic acts, real wisdom lies in observing the understated, the calm in the chaos. This is Old Stoic Wisdom in practice, finding strength, truth, and meaning in the quiet details. Let's also be honest. Many of us, especially as we get older, have built emotional walls, maybe from past heartbreaks, divorces, or just plain disappointment. We've been trained to question everything and protect ourselves. So when someone dares to cross that emotional moat with something as simple as a gentle touch, it's easy to dismiss or downplay it. But the next time it happens, I want you to lean into that moment. Don't flinch away from it. Notice it. Reflect on it. Is she doing this with other men around her? Is she comfortable being physically close, even when nothing romantic is being said or done? That's your clue. That's your sign. She's not just present with you, she feels safe with you. As Epictetus wisely said, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. So start listening, not just with your ears, but with your awareness. Watch her behaviour. Watch how she orbits your space. Watch how often she reaches out, not for anything, but just to feel you near. This is not about overanalyzing or obsessing. It's about tuning into the frequency of real human emotion. In a time when relationships are rushed, transactional, and often superficial, a woman's subtle gestures of comfort are golden. They're timeless. When she casually places her hand on yours while you're driving or absent-mindedly touches your back as you're walking into a room, those aren't just reflexes. Those are mini confessions of affection. It's her saying, "You're important to me," without needing to say a word. And if you're wise, you'll treasure those moments like a craftsman treasures his tools, quietly, respectfully, and with deep appreciation. As Seneca put it, he who is brave is free. And it takes a kind of quiet bravery to allow ourselves to be open to these signs, to not brush them off with cynicism or doubt. So what can you do? Start by slowing down. Get out of your head and into the present. Stop chasing signs of love like a man hunting for gold, and start noticing what's already right in front of you. Sometimes, the most extraordinary signs are hidden in the ordinary. Don't rush to label things. Don't second-guess every interaction. Instead, allow yourself to feel. Let her comfort be the balm that softens your own guard. And when you feel that subtle touch on your arm, your chest, your hand, acknowledge it. Smile, meet her eyes. There's a conversation happening that words will only complicate. And who knows? That small moment may be the seed of something powerful, something enduring. Because in the end, the men who truly understand women aren't the loudest, richest, or most charming. They're the ones who pay attention. And when you pay attention to her comfort, you begin to unlock the deeper truth of her heart. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever experienced a moment like this? A subtle touch that lingered, a gesture that made you wonder, is she trying to tell me something? Drop your thoughts in the comments and share your story. Let's build a brotherhood of awareness and reflection, one quiet sign at a time. Let me take you on a journey most men never dare to embark on, the path to truly understanding a woman's hidden signals of attraction. This isn't about cheesy pickup lines or playing mind games. It's about learning the deeper, time-tested cues rooted in psychology and ancient wisdom. You're not here by accident. Something brought you to this moment. Maybe a past relationship that left you wondering, or a gut feeling that there's more to attraction than meets the eye. And you're right. Once you understand the subtle but powerful triggers that women use to silently communicate their interest, your entire approach to relationships changes. No more guessing, no more chasing, just clarity. As the philosopher Epictetus once said, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. In attraction, this couldn't be more true. What you observe matters more than what you say. You've just discovered 2 powerful subconscious triggers, and that's a solid start. But don't stop here. There are 7 more signs, subtle, often overlooked, and shockingly effective, that can completely transform how women respond to you. For example, number 2 will likely surprise you because it's something you've probably seen, but never knew what it really meant. If you're the kind of man who's done being confused by mixed signals and is ready to start understanding attraction like a seasoned stoic, calm, clear, and confident, then you must take the next step. Subscribe to this channel because those who consistently expose themselves to this knowledge are the ones women gravitate toward effortlessly. Why? Because mastery breeds magnetism. Just like Marcus Aurelius wrote, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts, and the thoughts you choose to feed yourself here will sharpen your edge in ways you didn't think possible. Now, here's what I ask of you. And it's simple, but powerful. Smash that like button. Yes, do it now. Why? Because every click tells the YouTube algorithm, this is the kind of content that needs to reach more men. Men like you. Men who are ready to evolve past the surface-level fluff and start diving deep into real psychology, real behavior, and real wisdom. The more engagement we get, the more this message spreads. And together, we begin to build a tribe of men who don't just react to life, they understand it. Next, if you're serious about continuing this transformation, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications, because next week I'll be sharing the 5-second attraction trigger, a mental switch that when flipped causes women to feel an instant draw toward you before you even say a word. It's something so primal, so fast, it changes the entire dynamic of how you meet women. It's no gimmick, this is rooted in behavioral science, and once you see it, you'll wonder why nobody ever taught you this sooner. But more than anything, I need you to become a part of this movement. Right now, drop a comment below using one of these 3 words. Mirroring. If you've ever caught a woman subtly copying your gestures or tone, jealousy test if you've seen her pull back, just to see if you chase or decode. If you want me to break down more of these hidden psychological signals, your comment isn't just feedback, it's data, real-world proof. Something I might feature in an upcoming video, turning your experience into a learning tool for others. Because this isn't just content, it's a conversation, a community of men committed to decoding the unspoken language of attraction. So don't just watch, engage, participate, grow. Remember, the time for passive hope is over. Take control, embrace the ancient wisdom that still holds true today, and become the man who doesn't wonder if she's into him. He knows. The next step is yours. Hey, my friend, thanks for watching. Before you go, here's something simple but important. Share this video with just one buddy who needs it, not just to support the channel, though I truly appreciate that, but because too many guys are still in the dark when it comes to understanding real attraction. One share could help a friend avoid confusion, heartache, or missed chances. Here's the truth. Attraction isn't guesswork, it's behavior. And the copycat effect. That's not just some random tick, it's biology speaking louder than words. So start paying attention. Watch what she does, not just what she says. Keep it simple. Stay grounded. Observe with calm confidence. And always remember, the body tells the truth long before the mouth does. Take care, keep leveling up, and I'll see you in the next one.